I welcome you to this channel, the Messiah channel. It's an end-time channel, it's a prophetic channel, it's a channel for warning about the judgment that is coming, the judgment of the Lord. It's coming very soon. The Messiah, our Savior, Yeshua Jesus Christ is coming very soon. In today's message, we are dedicating it to the Doomsday, the day of the Lord. And the Doomsday Plane in the United States is reported that it started a brief training mission. We are in the end of days, the last days. When we say the last days, we are at the days when the time has come for judgment to come to the world. And so we are in the period of wars and rumors of war. And we are at the time when Russia and Ukraine are engaged in a war that potentially can lead to a global conflict, including World War III. There are channels dedicated to wars and rumors of war. There's a channel dedicated to preparing people for war. And today we are focusing on Doomsday and what it means for the world, what it means for you. There's a Doomsday Plane, and it's a plane that was manufactured for the purpose of Doomsday. And I believe that if it will be used at all, it will be used on the day of the Lord, the Doomsday. That's why they call it the Doomsday Plane. And according to Now the End Begins, which is an end-time organization, they reported on March 6, 2022 that the Doomsday Plane started a brief training mission on February 28, 2022 in Nebraska in the United States. As you are aware, Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24, 2022, and there is a potential for a wider escalation of the conflict, including fear that World War III could even result, and it will involve the use of nuclear weapons. And so the Doomsday Plane is reported to have started a brief training mission on February 28, 2022. And we can see that God has his chariots for war, and nations also have their chariots. And the United States has a chariot of war. It will be used on the Doomsday, the last day, the day of battle. And the Doomsday Plane has certain features based upon the research that I did. One, the Doomsday Plane is nuke resistant. It means that it will not be affected by a nuclear bomb. It doesn't have windows, it's windowless. It's also equipped to protect the occupants from the thermal effect of a nuclear blast. And so the people who will be in the Doomsday Plane, they will not be affected from nuclear blasts. And the Doomsday Plane also has 65 satellite dishes, and it will allow the plane to communicate with planes and ships everywhere in the world. And it can also withstand an EMP attack, electromagnetic pulse attack. when there is an EMP attack, it will dislodge electrical gadgets in countries everywhere. And the Doomsday Plane is equipped with devices that will help the plane to withstand an EMP attack. Most of the features of the plane are classified, but of course there's a Doomsday Plane that was manufactured for the purpose of conducting war when there is an event, an event of nuclear attack. And the training that was conducted by the Doomsday Plane, as reported by Now the End Begins, the training was in response to what VP Vladimir Putin said. And Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, he said that his deterrent forces, when he says deterrent forces, he's talking about nuclear forces, have been put on combat alert. What it means is that they are on heightened alert. And the alert was ordered, putting the nuclear forces on alert, according to Putin, was a result of two things. One, aggressive statements from NATO leaders. I'm not sure what statements Putin considers to be aggressive, but he's saying that as a result of aggressive, quote-unquote, statements from NATO leaders, he's putting his deterrent or nuclear forces on alert. Number two, Putin, VP, considers the economic sanctions that are imposed on Russia as an act of war. And so for these two reasons, Putin put his deterrent or nuclear forces on alert. And as a result, the US Doomsday Plane began training, a brief training in Nevada on February 28, 2022, as reported by Now the End Begins. The Doomsday Plane was built as a flying command headquarters in the event of nuclear attack. In other words, there will be a nuclear command headquarters that will be mobile. It will not be located in a fixed place. The command headquarters during nuclear war will be in a plane that they call the Doomsday Plane. It doesn't come out very frequently, and people are excited when they see it. And the mystery of the plane is that when it comes out, it means that, you know, something apocalyptic is probably going to happen. And when you hear that the Doomsday Plane began a short meeting, a brief meeting in Nebraska on February 20, 2022, you know that the world powers are preparing for something. And the Doomsday Plane came out, and people reportedly saw the plane February 20, 2022, at the time that Russia has put his nuclear forces on combat alert. If you have watched this channel before, remember a video that I did where the nations of the world were preparing to unleash. I already done a video about it, where in a vision heard that the nations of the world are preparing to unleash, and I didn't know what they were preparing to unleash. But after this video, now we see report that the Doomsday Plane started a brief training in Nebraska on February 28, 2022. You have to remember that people also are preparing to go into bunkers. It has been reported based on the video that I watched that the demand for bunkers is increasing. When you have a bunker, you probably assume that when there's a nuclear blast, it will not get you. So the rich people and the famous people who have the money are buying bunkers, and they're preparing to go into their bunkers when there's a nuclear blast. And the leaders of the United States also have the privilege to be in bunkers. And there is a doomsday plane that is equipped to withstand nuclear blasts. That will be the mobile command headquarters for the government of the United States in the event of nuclear war. When you hear rumors of war, and when you hear about wars, when you hear about bunkers, when you hear about doomsday plane, you have to remember that prophecy is being fulfilled to the point that at the time I'm making this video, I want to remind you that there will be a time that people will run into caves and they will beg the stones and the caves to kill them, but they will not be killed. They will be seeking for death, but death will run away from them. The only bunker is the bunker that you have in heaven. Psalm 91 says that those who dwell in the secret places of the Most High must abide under the shadows of the Almighty. No bunkers in the world can save you. No doomsday plane can save you, because the angels of the Lord are more powerful, regardless of whether you have Tomahawk cruise missiles, whether you have MiG-29, whether you have F-16 bombers, whether you have B-52 bombers. The bombs that will come, they will come from the Most High. It will be like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, when brimstone and fire were rained from heaven. They came from under the throne of the Most High. And so when you hear about bunkers and doomsday planes, you have to remember that your bunker is the Lord. It's your shield. It's your fortress. It's time for you to seek the Lord so that you will be saved, because He has already given us the assurance that He will deliver us from the tribulation that is coming, as He promised the church in Philadelphia, as recorded in the book of Revelation. And so when you hear the doomsday plane doing a training, a mission training, you have to remember that we are in the last days. When you hear people, rich people, of course, buying bunkers and building bunkers, trying to hide from what is coming, you know that we are in the last days. But remember, nobody can hide from the face of the Lord. Those who will be in the presence of the Lord are those who have accepted the gospel of Jesus Christ. There's no name in heaven or on earth under whom we get salvation except the name Jesus Christ, Yeshua. Accept him today and let heaven be your banker. Let the chariot of the Most High, let the chariot of the Most High be your doomsday plane. Thank you for this message.